Hi all, it's Barb coming to you from my craft studio. I have a small haul to share. I went to our local thrift shop and I went to Target and Meyer. I think that is it. Unless I got an Amazon. Oh, I got a Creative Memories order. That was the big one. Some of it's crafty. Goodwill, it's mainly like books. But I'll share those with you as well. At our little local thrift store here in town actually closed down last week, but I walked up there. They were having a sale. I think I went on the day they were 25% off, and I found a couple of stamp sets. I may have shared these already. I don't remember, but there was this one with the cupcake and the sprinkles. I figured I would use it for those. The French words, I have no idea what they mean, so probably not. And then this Galentine's one, I thought maybe there were elements of that I would use as well. So I picked those two up. And I picked a couple of these alphabet stickers. These, honestly, I will probably put them with my planner stuff, because that's probably where I would use the alphabets. Usually if I need something for scrapbook or cards, I do it on my Cricut. So I don't usually piece together things. But I did want to share. I have a friend who does Creative Memories. She does it just, what do they call it, a hobbyist. So I like to get their little card kits. I want to actually try to start working on these with hubby. They give you, I think there's 3 cards you can make. I mean, you're free to do something else with them, but these are the 3 cards that they kind of have created for you to make. I bought 2 of each set. And those went everywhere. This one was called A+ Appreciation. One of the other ones had like some bonus things in there. I don't know if all these. Oh, it does. It's got a little envelope that's labeled bonus, so it's got like some little extra freebies in it, I guess. These, I think they used to be, I think the older ones are $5 each, and the new ones I think are $6. They had to raise their prices, like everyone else. I actually, at Dollar Tree today, I did not buy anything there, but I seen the calendars. At my Dollar Tree, the calendars are marked $2 each now. So I don't know. I don't usually use their calendars. I use some of the pictures. It's like, at what point is it not really a bargain to buy them for that purpose, Maybe I'll look and see if there's one I really like and maybe use it as my calendar. We tend to buy, for the one, we usually keep one in our calendar in our bedroom, but we tend to buy the one Culver's picks out, which isn't real cute, but it has coupons for Culver's. So, you have a Culver's in your area. Love them. Love the frozen custard. And then I bought 2 of the Cool Vibes set, which this is card number 1, 2, let me get that a little closer, and 3. Some of these I like better than others, but I was hoping to make it to Ollie's this week, but sadly that wasn't meant to be. My daughter's cat, we knew we were down to a matter of time with her. She's had a hyperactive thyroid, so she weighed like 5 pounds. She was skin and bones, but she was allergic to the medicine, so it was hard to feed her enough to keep the weight on, because she just burned it all off so fast. So, and then a few months ago they discovered she had a tumor on her bladder, and the doctor said, right now, she goes, I don't advise having to put her down. She goes, she doesn't appear to be suffering at all. She goes, just watch for these symptoms. And yesterday my daughter goes, I think I need to bring her to the vet because she's not eating, and she rattled off a couple other things that was kind of going on. She was very lethargic and all that. So the local vet was closed, of course, being a holiday weekend. So we tried to call the emergency clinic, and she used my phone because I had them programmed into my phone, the one that we used it for our cat. And after about 45 minutes, she says, "We're just going to go." First, my daughter was just going to ride with her, and my older daughter, and I said, if Misty can't come home, which I don't think she's going to be able to, you might not want to let her drive home. She's had that cat since she's 18 years. She was an 8th grader when she got the cat. I think she got it right after she graduated, about the time she graduated from 8th grade. So she says, okay. She goes, we'll take my car then. But my older daughter doesn't like to drive to that city, but she did. She's like, for her sister and the cat, she will do it. But yeah, I mean, it was over an hour before they finally picked up the phone. They were just super busy. And then as I'm starting to explain what's going on with the cat and that they're on their way, the line goes dead. So I texted my daughter, and I said, I finally got through, but the call dropped. I said, and she goes, we're only about 5 miles away. I'm like, well, it doesn't make any sense for me to call again because I'm going to be put on hold for another hour. So you'll just have to go as it is. She goes, yep, that's fine. But then this one is called Happy Greetings, which I think this is the latest one. I do kind of like the packaging on this one. Shows what the 3 cards look like on the front. So it looks like that. Whereas the old ones just were kind of like this. It just had a blue cover with the name of it. This one is called Possum. I think now I have all of the small card kits that make 3 that are currently available. They also had scrapbooking kits that are kind of the same way. This one says Your Possum. This one says Animals Have a Special Place in Our Hearts. And this one says Thinking of You. My oldest daughter's teacher. So there's a teacher one. She goes, I guess they don't have a cat one. I said, actually, there's a pet one in there too. She goes, oh, there is a pet one. And she goes, you got one to recognize both of your daughters. I said, yep. And then this one is called Vintage Chic, which this is card number 1. This is card number 2, and card number 3. I'm not a fan of the blessed thing. I know some people, it strikes a chord with them, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It just doesn't do anything for me. It's not something I like to say. I guess I don't feel too blessed, I guess, but I don't know. Especially now, I feel like I'm losing my husband inch by inch, step by step, and over again. Hubby did pick out this pop. Originally, we had picked out 3 pops at Target. It's Target Circle Days. One of their sales is buy 2, get 1 free, books, movies, Funko Pops. So he picked out 3. I look at my receipt and I'm like, I paid full price for all 3 of those. So I go over to the service desk and I'm like, yeah, the sign said buy 2, get 1 free. So she scans and she says, this one wasn't part of the sale. I'm like, nowhere does it say that only certain pops qualify. She says, well, I'm sorry, which I know it's not her fault. I said, that's fine. She goes, do you want to return that one? I said, actually, I told my husband, I said, which one do you want? So we only bought 1. I was going to buy 3 because of the buy 2, get 1 free, but we just bought the 1. He said he wanted the Indiana Jones one, the Marion one. So he'll put that up by, he has Indy already, so she'll go over there by Indy. And then we love watching Christmas movies, and this one had Jared Padalecki in it, from Supernatural. I mean, this was before his Supernatural days. He's very young here. The Christmas Cottage. So we picked that up. It was like, let's see what that's like. Oh, I did pick these up at Meijer. They were actually on clearance. They were like $1.39. They're the limited edition collection. Last week at, I think it was Dollar Tree, I bought the pack of retired crayons. These are the same colors in colored pencil form. So I bought that to add to our little colored pencil set. And then I bought a few books at Goodwill. Leanne Moriarty? I think that's how it's pronounced, Leanne. Truly, Madly Guilty. I've read a couple of hers. That one had a green sticker. Today at my Goodwill, I don't know if all Goodwills are the same sticker color. The blue was the color of the week, so they were half price. So this one was half price at Apple Smart Fall. My daughter's like, oh, it's weird. Some of the books and DVDs had blue, some had green, some had... I said, do you think maybe they color code, like when things come in? This week we're putting blue stickers on everything. Next week we do green, and that's why they rotate through the colors, is to try to get through some of the older merchandise, maybe. I don't know if that's true. And then they also had any clothing with a pink tag today was $1. I didn't really look at the clothing. I guess I went over there, probably find something he wanted. Honestly, he really doesn't need any more clothes. And then I found a couple little golden books. They had a whole stack of them. I know this one looks like brand new. But I tried to buy the ones that had titles that resonated with me, I guess. You know, Barbie, because my name's Barbs. So I bought another Barbie one. I've been thinking about doing that. I've seen people make these like into junk journal type things. I wondered if there would be different Barbie crafting embellishments that you could kind of mix in with that and make it. And then I thought Rudolph would be a good one. Maybe to do that with too. The Christmas stories and like the old timey ones that, do they put a list of titles back in here? So they have some of the other ones. Like I always remember, I don't know if it's even listed here. This one seems like it has a lot of the more updated ones in there, like The Little Engine That Could, the Saggy Baggy Elephant was one, The Pokey Little Puppy, those ones that I remember reading to my children. I wouldn't mind getting some of those. I also don't mind like the Disney type ones, especially the more princessy stories, I guess. I have bought several of the Sleeping Beauty ones I found. I've been watching for different covers. If I find some of the other ones, those with even with those same covers, I might buy them, because I've been debating, can I maybe do like a Sleeping Beauty junk journal, because she's always been my favorite princess. So I don't think I'm going to do a tour video again this week, because I just have not been out here. I'll be honest, I've been exhausted. My husband's been keeping me awake for 2-3 hours every night. Usually he starts like 3-4 in the morning, and after that I don't get any more sleep because he's repetitive questions. The last night he started before I got to sleep, and it was like until 3 in the morning that he was. And last night's question was, are we going to put my new patch on? Is it time to put my new patch on? It was some variation of that with his patch. They gave him a new medication that's in a patch form, and he's been kind of obsessive on it. He gets obsessive about stuff. He gets on one tangent and he just keeps going with it. I think that's pretty normal in any type of dementia patient. So it's like, you know, those repetitive questions get very annoying when they're during the day, but I'll take them during the day rather than overnight. I mean, and the overnight ones are just making me so cranky during the day, because it's like I'm not getting enough sleep, and when I don't get enough sleep, I've always gotten cranky when I don't get enough sleep, but it also tends to trigger my illness whenever I overdo or don't get enough rest. You know, things like that trigger me, my illness wise, and when I'm not feeling well, I tend to get cranky too. So there's that. But the only thing I really got done out here this week was I got my new stamp storage in place. Can you turn that just a little bit? There. Oh, look at that ink. The only ink pads that I really had out right now were my Stampin' Up inks. And I had a couple that I like, my Memento and my VersaFine, the black ones that I use a lot. I had those in the craft room that I was going to have in the upstairs. All the rest of them are packed away somewhere. My goal this week actually, one thing I did this week that I spent a lot of time doing too, when I did feel up to doing it, was getting the garage ready for my girls to park. And they poured the approach, and now I just need to finish bringing the seasonal decor that will fit in there. There's room for just a couple more containers, and I need to get the boxes that are in there folded up. Tomorrow we put trash and recyclables out, so I will get those boxes that are left in there. There's not a ton of them left. There's some that need to be broken down out of the garage, and then I think they can start parking in the garage. I do need to get the Patriotic empty containers out and try to get my Patriotic stuff packed up. At this point, I'm ready to move on. I'll be honest, Patriotic's probably been up longer than most, because usually it's a month. Patriotic, I tend to do about 6 weeks. And then summer, I do about 6 weeks. Sometimes fall will go up the end of August, just because at that point, I'm ready for a change. And then that will stay up until 1st of October when I switch over to Halloween. So I want to get the Patriotic down and the summer up, hopefully this week. And I really want to get out here and finish picking up the stuff that's in here that needs to just be, I need to clear the rest of the stuff up that's in here. There's not a ton, but what's in here needs to be taken care of. And then I want to be able to start bringing boxes up from the basement slowly. And I think that's what I'm going to organize the basement better, is as I find, because right now all my craft stuff is in boxes down there, and it's sitting on top of the shelves for the shelving units that will be put up in the basement. So it's hard to organize the basement until I get craft stuff out of there so that I can have the shelves to put the shelving up to organize the stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm really hoping to make some headway. I was really hoping to be crafting by now, and it just hasn't happened. It just hasn't. I was hoping to be able to work with the Get Organized Challenge each month. Like, I wanted to get my stamps done last month, and I realized I really can't do that because my storage tools that I need for my stamps are in the basement somewhere. So until I come across the storage stuff for stamps, and this month is dies, I need to get that done. I need to do a little video for the dies too. I really can't organize the ones I have. I don't have a ton, especially, I have more stamps probably than dies. Dies, I think I just have a couple of new ones. Those one, and the one I have of dies, I might actually be able to catalog, because I think the ones I bought were just shaped ones, and I have the storage. I put those in my Totally Tiffany die file, and I do have that in the craft room. So I could probably get that one cataloged and get it put away. I could probably do that one. So, but I really need to get going on that so that I can finish that, and I can actually, like I said, I think once I get to that point where I get all this stuff out and then I start bringing stuff up and going through it, I think I want to dedicate one day a week to doing some sort of craft project. I might try to do two, because I might do one where, like, I take these 2 card sets, I take one and I get puppy one, and we put together the cards, and I'll probably do it just as pictured, because that will be the simplest for him, and I can show him kind of how you do it, and he can kind of craft with me. We'll see if it's too late to attempt that or not. I'm hoping maybe he can handle that with some assistance. But that's kind of my goal. I did discover that there's a couple things I had to take down off my shelving up here. I came in one morning and I could barely get the door open because the stuff had fallen off the slat wall. And I think a couple of the containers were just too heavy. So I'm like, okay, some of the ones with heavier stuff in it, those are going to have to be stored in the basement. I need to put the one in a different container because it is all cracked, and I'd rather not have it in a cracked container in the basement. We've had some issues with mice in the basement. Well, the last few times Orkin's come, he says he hasn't seen any new signs of activity. So hopefully they've got that resolved. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather have them in plastic containers. I'm a little nervous about going through all my craft stuff because they're in cardboard boxes. But It needs to get done. And I know I'll feel better once I start. It's just getting started has been. I don't feel I'm to the point where I can start because I feel like I need to get rid of more stuff that's just sitting in here. But anyways, that's all I've got to share today. I want to thank you for joining me. I'll catch you next time.